What it do, baby? Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Vox, and Steven Unvierse Future is here, which means our breakdowns are here, starting with Little Homeschool. Storyboarded by Paul Vallejo and Drew Green. Let's just not waste any time. Spoiler warning, if you did not watch the episode, please click off now, go watch it, come back here. As to be expected with this limited epilogue being considered an entirely new series, we have brand new title cards. Shifting away from Steven's laundry drying on the temple hand, we now have a perspective of Steven taking a night drive, his tape picture of garnet, amethyst, and pearl in view, with the mirror displaying the hill the temple's located on in the distance, illustrating that we're moving on to a new journey, a new chapter of Steven's life, while still keeping sight of where we began. Our episode begins with Steven removing bottles of diamond extract from his bathroom cabinet, dumping it into the water of the tub, each bottle embodying the look and element of each diamond, and also oddly enough reminds me of the evolution stones from Pokemon, but something tells me that's far off from the intention. Throwing his own healing saliva into the mix, Steven restores a corrupted gem who reforms into Cherry Quartz, voiced by Kimberly Brooks, keeping consistent with Michaela Dietz and Kimberly voicing Quartz soldiers. We touched more on initial observations of this gem in our breakdown of the scene a few days prior. Check it out. Steven's now driving the Dondai Supremo, a vehicle purchased by Greg Universe and Beat City Drift, after receiving a royalty check for $10 million at the end of Drop Beat Dad. Stefani previously drove this vehicle to race Kevin before realizing they're better off not needing to prove anything to him. The tape Steven plays is titled Greg's Greatest Mix, which also appeared in Beat City Drift, the perfect song for a montage that fills us in on everything that's happened since the events of Steven Universe, the movie. Earth is officially declared an independent planet, whereas before it was still in a weird limbo of being Pink Diamond's colony pole-shattering, mainly due to Blue Diamond's refusal to let go of Pink. Now that everything's been cleared up and Homeworld's empire has been dismantled, Earth is able to exist as its own place, its own world, doing its own thing. But going into what's happened for each individual character, Lars has opened up his own bakery, Spacetries, something that was alluded to in the comics during a dream sequence, intentional or not. This canon equivalent displays macaroons, the Barriga staple ube rolls, a treat that emulates a warpad, and another with a model of the sun incinerator right above it. Lars also now has star gauges and a star pattern across his apron, which feeds into the space theme, while also signifying he's an ally of the crystal gems. Hopefully these things come back into play at some point during future with the return of Lars of the Stars. I'm actually happy to see this upgrade because I was expecting to see this in the film, but at that point in time he was still working at the Big Donut, integrating his own pastries into the menu there, but now it seems as if he's doing his own thing, climbing up in the world and embracing all the things that make him, well, Lars Barriga. I'm proud of him, I really am. City Killer and the Suspects are on tour promoting their new album, Cheers indicating they have met a roaring success with their evolving style of music. Connie has gotten a head start on college prep, Steven remarking that although it's 2 years away, she feels as if you can never start too early. This would place Connie in either 10th or 11th grade, depending on if Steven is going off graduation date, but I'm gonna lean more towards the 10th. Connie would also either be 15 or 16. It's not unusual to start college at 17, after all I did, so assuming they're keeping their movie ages, we can say Connie's 15, but that's a small detail I'm sure the crew can confirm at any given point. As you may have noticed, the pose and framing of the shot serves as a tribute to the countless lo-fi beats to chill and study to streams that have populated the web throughout the last few years, the most notable featuring a loop of a Miyazaki-esque teenage girl studying. Maybe little old Roundtable put a little something together, our own lo-fi Steven Universe stream, who knows what could happen. But this loop in itself is actually based off of Whisper of the Heart, a film that recently had a re-release theatrical run, and which Rebecca Sugar gave the intro for. But the Easter eggs don't stop there. Connie's room is full of them. You may have noticed a Polaroid of Lion and picture of Steven with ukulele and mic stand, but also scattered about is the glow ring Steven returned to her in Bubble Buddies, a figure of Dogcopter, a strawberry tool of sorts that I'm sure is an actual practical instrument that I just can't remember, but that serves as a nod to the song Jam Buds from Sworn to the Sword. There are hibiscus flowers, significant to the series, and if you squint just close enough at the lower right, you can spot an unfamiliar familiar book. Divert your attention to the upper right, you can also spot a tennis ball, a nod to her former days of tennis playing as seen in episodes such as Lion to the Movie, which helped her evolve into the sword-fighting badass she is today. Cherry calls out that Steven's monologuing falls on deaf ears, but Steven disregards the exposition with the arrival of Little Homeworld's Little Homeschool, which seems to not only house gems as established in the movie, but gems who still desire to live on Homeworld can come on down too, as a roaming eye with a pink tinted window takes off. I'm assuming that each court will have their own tent. The roaming roaming eyes we saw before were yellow for Yellow Diamond's court. The pink one implies this roaming eye was for Pink Diamond's court, so similarly there would be some out there with a blue tint or a white tint. Or maybe they just changed the tint because Era 3. Steven's introduction to Little Homeschool features brief glimpses of Snowflake Obsidian, Larimar, 2 rubies, a scholarly aquamarine, and watermelon tourmaline. We also get a look at Business New Forge, crafting something up assumably for the Heaven and Earth beetles. Peridot has taken up the occupation of a botanist, teaching Blue Lace Agate how to properly water flowers. This interest of Peridot's began in Back to the Kindergarten, which is brought full circle with the abundance of sunflowers present, which Steven, Amethyst, and Perry attempted and failed to grow in the prime kindergarten. Vidalia is hosting a figure drawing class, and Blue Pearl seemingly the excelled student, a nod to their interest that came to light in Together Alone. Cherry questions what a morp is, calling back to the concept of meat morts or, art, which was introduced in the episode Beta by Peridot and Lapis, the latter of which sadly absent from these episodes. Garnet's teaching a multitude of subjects, though the closest we have here is yoga, while Pearl's character arc gets to flex, as she hosts a class on social communication and human technology, utilizing her Hollow Pearl to properly demonstrate a phone call. Amethyst slips into the role of Professor Amethyst, teaching Gems how to be an Earthling, which includes taking some time to do whatever the heck you want. Amethyst and Steven share a brief conversation during their lunch that touches on what's sure to be the focus of Steven Unvierse Future, something that's also touched on in a brutal manner later in the episode. Steven has to come to terms with the fact that he can't help everyone. Not everyone wants to receive help, or even needs it in the first place, but Steven believes if there's a will, there's a way. If there's a chance, why not take it? I'm sure he'll get the answer by the resolution of Future. This brings Steven to a hike in the woods, questing towards the character alluded to in the previous conversation. Approaching an ominous cave, Steven is verbally halted by the big buff Cheeto Puff, Jasper, who was seemingly hiding under a tarp as a way of camouflage, still utilizing war tactics in the modern day. Jasper seems to have been watching her post and likely spotted someone coming, but why exactly did she stop Steven here? Well, we didn't see the inside of her cave where she's residing. This is just a suggestion, but perhaps she's trying to prevent anyone from seeing something inside the cave, something she holds sentimental value to. We'll have to see, but this could be worth speculating. Immediately, we begin to see the difference in these two Earthlings, with something as simple as Jasper squashing a bug, which greatly upsets Steven. One despises organic life, while the other lives for organic life. Jasper even plucked out all of the grass from her surroundings, giving the landscape a look much closer to the Beta kindergarten. Steven's attempt at persuasion quickly escalates into an argument, Steven pointing out the logical fallacies in Jasper's viewpoint, whereas Jasper pushes back with old reliable, "You're not my mom!" But Jasper offers the most effective way to communicate with her, fisticuffs. Steven accepts, and Jasper is as giddy as can be. The start of this fight echoes Steven in the original series, pulling punches, acting on the defense, and evading actual physical conflict. However, Jasper quickly disarms Steven from his shield, and thus his pacifist approach, which to us as an audience conveys that sometimes actually fighting back to defend yourself is necessary. A lesson introduced in Steven vs. the movie, as Steven faced off against Spinel during the song Change. Jasper puts Steven on the ropes, pointing out he's never beat Jasper on his own, always needed the assistance of friends in fusion, something Jasper views as weak. The person who tries to help everyone is the one who always needs help. And needing help of course isn't a bad thing, but clearly Jasper has strong opposing opinions on the matter. Regardless, this situation forces Steven to tap into a new but familiar transformation as his skin begins to glow pink, much like his gem half once they were separated by White Diamond. Steven pushes Jasper off, though she lands on her feet while he equips himself with a bubble boxing glove. Though instead of matching punches like with Spinel, Steven goes on the complete offensive pretty much for the first time, socking Jasper right in the chest and sending her flying through multiple trees in a very shonen manner. Definitely calls to mind the action sequences of anime such as Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Naruto. And Jasper is very impressed. Steven begins to mix the defense and offense, dodging Jasper's attacks only to deliver a kick in the face, followed up with a collision of her spin dash. Finishing the battle, Steven throws Jasper into the air, delivering a fierce blow and summoning a shield to catch his balance, ejecting himself right back into the court soldier for 2 more hits, getting frustrated at her satisfied laughter and slamming her backside right into the ground. While Steven is alarmed by his demonstration of brute strength, Jasper is unfazed and annoyed at his immediate need to apologize. After all, it's a fight she requested, and it's gonna take more than that to leave scratches on the kindergarten courts who could. Steven has his own takeaway from this encounter. Wanting to pursue more of this new form, he offers Jasper a teaching position, not at Little Homeschool, but for himself, which Jasper simultaneously accepts and declines, stating this fight was Steven's first and only lesson. But Steven wants to know if he can visit Jasper sometime in the future, which she begrudgingly answers, "Do what you want," leaving the door open for more of this interaction and possible apprenticeship, establishing Jasper may have a vital role to play in Steven Unvierse Future. As Steven rounds this episode out with another monologue, he uses his healing powers to heal one of the trees damaged in battle, retrieving the birds, and narrowly avoiding crushing a beetle, once again illustrating the difference between him and Jasper, a difference that is sure to create conflict later in future. Lastly, Steven closes off the episode on a hopeful note, signing off on Cherry's class schedule. She's so precious. Another neat observation Lear from Two Ruins pointed out is that this episode's concept serves as a direct parallel to the very first episode of the original Steven Universe, Gem Glow. Whereas before, the gems were teaching Steven how to summon his weapon, and more so throughout the first season of the series, teaching him how to be a gem, Steven is now the one teaching gems on how to be an Earthling. But beyond that, just like in Gem Glow, Steven's still discovering new powers he was previously unaware of, and still refusing to let go of something that's long gone. Back then for 12-year-old Steven, it was Cookie Cat. For 16-year-old Steven, it's Jasper. Moving on to guidance, storyboarded by Amish Kumar and Aaron Austin, I immediately need to make a correction. I stated in the post-show that I believed Amish Kumar began working during the movie. He was actually a storyboard revisionist previously on the show before making the jump to Border. Sorry Amish, but congrats on the promotion. You clearly deserve it if this episode is anything to go off by. That being said, this episode features Amethyst assigning gems new jobs all across Beach City, in turn giving us confirmation of many gemstone names in rapid succession. For example, Fish Stew Pizza sees Bixbite, formerly the crab monster, putting her skills to very practical use with slicing and dicing toppings with her claws while having the precision to cut a perfect pizza. Amethyst calls this job assigning process Gem Human Excellence Mentorship. Some rubies have taken up the position of Mayor Nanafwow's new guards, which are probably a lot more over the top and efficient as the previous guards. Definitely should at least have more of a spine than the cowards who ran away from Steven's t-shirt cannon. And they're probably thrilled to be of equal, if not more value. Unlike on Homeworld where rubies were lower tier and underappreciated, the court soldiers have occupied Funland. Biggs Jasper, Blue Lace Agate, Crazy Lace, Cherry Quartz, Lace Amethyst, and Zebra Jasper. And some of the townies are actually based on the Crooniverse as always. Nephrite has taken up skywriting, using a silent Uncle Andy's plane, a perfect blend of the gem's experience as a pilot and their inclination for art, as shown through Senti and Monster Union. Snowflake Obsidian and Larimar, two gems beloved by Bisniff and name-dropped in the past, are making snow cones, which leads into Steven acquiring about their original purposes on Homeworld, as he's concerned Amethyst is making them do the same things in Era 3 that they did in Eras 1 to 2. Snowflake dug ice trenches for armies, more of a soldier, whereas Larimar made ice sculptures for the diamonds, more of an artistic and probably more respected gem in the good old days. Snowflake Obsidian is the second gem to be voiced by a male in the series without necessarily having he/him pronouns. And not counting any fusion, sorry Rainbow 2.0. Until further clarification, we should still use she/her pronouns for Snowflake. It's a universal rule, not gonna break it now. The first gem to have a male voice was Fisto, a pebble voiced by Zach Callison. Snowflake is voiced by Ian Jones-Cordy, former executive producer of Steven Universe, creator of OKKO Let's Be Heroes, and as of recently, husband to Rebecca Sugar. Also, he's one of my inspirations and I just really look up to him, and you guys know how much I was hyping up Snowflake Obsidian, so seeing Ian voice her made me very happy. Whereas Larimar is voiced by Swedish voice actress Michelle Merrick. Hope I got that last name right. Snowflake evidently has a knack for ice puns, stating, "I don't snow about this," as Steven sent Snowflake and Andy off to Amelia Earhart 2.0. Larimar seems to be the gem equivalent of Onion, enjoying her job for what can be perceived as cynical reasons, enjoying human screams. Though she clarifies later she likes happy screams, not fond of the screams later in the episode. As things begin to go awry with the new job arrangements, the court soldiers can be seen delivering pizzas in an aggressive fashion that calls back to pull hopping and Garnet's delivery skills, but with much less poise. Steven consults Amethyst for help, which briefly shows us Nephrite taking up snow cone duty, except just pumping the syrup into the paper cone without the ice. This scene also touches on Steven's need to help everyone, even when they don't need help. In this case, feeling as if he knows what's better for all the gems working on the boardwalk than they do, despite Amethyst establishing in the beginning of the episode that she communicated and worked closely with all of them to find a job that works the best. To remedy the situation, Steven and Amethyst let Smoky Quartz take the lead, who has a slightly longer neck due to Steven's age, wrapping his jacket around their waist. Smoky also shows off new skills with forging a net out of yo-yos to catch Snowflake and Andy, while helicoptering down with another. Smoky begins to panic as they rush to the roller coaster falling apart, leading to an interesting depiction of their components. Each time Amethyst's influence shines on the fusion, the background alters to a purple hue, with Smoky running on the right side, whereas it switches to pink with Smoky on the left for Steven. The pressure of not knowing what to do in the moment causes the pink Steven transformation to affect Smoky Quartz, giving them super speed that mimics the textbook time is slowed down around us effect found in properties such as The Flash, Mega Man 11, Kamen Rider Kabuto, and Sonic the Hedgehog, especially with the ghosting effect. At the core, Amethyst's goal in this episode was to help gems re-own their identity and purpose with familiar jobs, turning it from a job into a passion, making it more enjoyable for a gem and making their past a little less weird. However, Amethyst proposes a question to Steven that sets up another plot point for the series. What does Steven want for his future? A question that doesn't really have an immediate answer. Steven still wants to help people, but he feels as if his attempts so far haven't been too successful. Until Larimar approaches him to reveal his push at the roller coaster job helped her discover that she's great at handing out prizes, loving the reactions it brings, and that she's never been this happy. I can't wait to dive into whatever Steven's resolve will be, but I think his days helping people aren't up just yet, even if the number of people to help at the immediate moment is running a bit thin. And to close out this breakdown, we have a new credits theme, Being Human, with lyrics being added during Volleyball's credits. We'll save touching on those lyrics for that breakdown. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Between Little Homeschool and Guidance, which one was your favorite episode? Which moments did you enjoy out of both of them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at AustricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help learn to grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching and I hope you have an awesome day. AustricVox signing out.